Hello, this is Brian J signing on, and this is my post-fight analysis of the Josh Kelly-Ray Robinson fight. And I gotta tell you, Josh Kelly, he looked terrible in this fight, man. I mean, he looked really bad. His Roy Jones Jr. lit style was just not working tonight. Like, he had no real defense. He kept his head on the center line sometimes. I mean, he would move his head a lot, but sometimes he would keep it in a straight line. And he was letting himself just get tagged with left hands, straight left hands from Ray Robinson. Throughout the second half. The first half, Josh Kelly did really well. I gave him the first 3 rounds, but in the middle to late rounds, I thought Ray Robinson was really putting it on him. Like, he was landing some good body punches, landing some good lefts, a couple good right hooks. Like, he was doing a lot of good work in this fight that got completely ignored by the commentators for the most part, saying that, oh, he was only landing a few good shots, he was missing most of his shots. No, he was landing a lot of body punches, and he was landing a lot of head punches, and he made this a very, very close fight. And he made Josh Kelly look bad. Like, Josh Kelly's flashy, unorthodox style with his hands down, yeah, it might work against fighters in his country because they're not used to that type of style in his country. But here in America, man, we've seen that style many times because of Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. made that style look popular. And so American fighters, especially African-American fighters, know what to do against that style, especially when you're not even doing it in the right way. Like, Josh Kelly does it well, but he makes certain mistakes that Roy Jones Jr. did not really make back in the 90s, you know. And Josh Kelly doesn't have as much power as he should at welterweight to offset those mistakes, you know? And he doesn't have a good jab. He has no jab. He had no jab tonight. He couldn't keep Ray Robinson off of him. You know, he had straight right hands, which Ray Robinson could see from a mile away most of the time. You know, and I gave Josh Kelly 6 rounds. I thought he won the fight, but I gave him the first 3 rounds. I gave him round 5, and I gave him round 8 and round 9. So I gave him 6 rounds, but round 5 could have gone to Ray Robinson. I gave Ray Robinson rounds 4, 6, 7, and round 10, and if I give him round 5, then this fight's a draw. And it was considered a majority draw. And Josh Kelly, he needs to get a jab. He needs to work on his jab, because if he's going to be fighting at the elite level at welterweight against guys like Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, or Errol Spence, he's got to get a jab, man. He's got to get a jab. He's got to tighten up his defense, because all this silly shit that he was able to get away with, but still struggled to get away with against Ray Robinson, he can't do that against Errol Spence, man. And Errol Spence will be digging to the body. He will be putting money in the bank in those earlier rounds, and Errol Spence will just knock out Josh Kelly in the later rounds by round 10 or 11. But by the time Josh Kelly even fights for a belt, I think Errol Spence will be fighting at 154 after 2020. I think 2020, Errol Spence will either fight Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford, and after he's done at welterweight, he'll just move up to 154, and then we'll see what Josh Kelly. But Josh Kelly will get destroyed by Terrence Crawford. I mean, Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. And he has great fundamentals, but he also has a certain unorthodox way to his style of fighting. And he could time and predict what Josh Kelly is going to do, the way he did with Amir Khan. You know, and no one's been able to go the distance against Terrence Crawford at welterweight. I'm not saying he hits harder than Errol Spence, but Terrence Crawford, he's meaner in the ring. He has a mean streak. That's why Errol Spence isn't eager to fight Terrence Crawford yet. It's going to happen eventually, but he knows that Terrence Crawford could fight any different style, and he has a mean streak, you know? And Josh Kelly, he's not going to be able to deal with that, man. Josh Kelly would get destroyed by Terrence Crawford. Be a wipeout. Anyways, I'm disappointed in Josh Kelly, and I'm a Josh Kelly fan, but I'm disappointed in his performance tonight. I thought this fight could have gone either way. Josh Kelly didn't win. It was a draw. And, yeah, that's my post-fight analysis of this fight. And this is Brian J. signing off for now, and shout out to the LDBC. Lions Den Boxing Community.